let's talk about data classes right now. Data classes. So we've talked about types so far, but now we're going to introduce the concept of classes. Now, vectors are like essentially Lego building blocks, and we stick them together to build more complicated constructs, essentially representations of data. So the class attribute that is attached to all objects is, well, it's attached to all objects, and that class determines that object's behavior. Because remember, you R is an object-oriented language. So you don't really need to worry about what an S3 class really means, but you're welcome to check it out. I think I've got this link in his live. Ta-da! So you can check it out if you really want to know more. It exists. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back. Cool. So the three data classes we're going to kind of talk about are factors, dates, and data frames. So R uses factors to handle categorical variables. These are variables that have a fixed and known set of possible values. So for example, if we were to assign X as a factor to a concatenated chunk of BS, MS, PhD, and MS, it would tell us that X has 4 values, but only 3 levels. And it'll also tell us that it is of type integer, but class factor. Cool. So we can kind of think about a factor like a character as well as an integer smushed together. So the character gives us labels. Essentially, it is the assignment of qualities to a number, while that integer is that number that has been assigned to those qualities. And these are smushed together. So when you do just take a quick glimpse at your data, it'll say factor with 3 levels, and it'll print out BS, or in this case, BS, MS, and PhD, and those in our data end up corresponding to 1 here, 2 here, and PhD is 3. And then we have a second MS, so it goes here. Now, if you were to ask this just as an integer, what it would do is give you that 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 2. It would give you just the integer piece, versus if you did it as character, which I might have put in the next chunk. I did not. If you put in the as character, it would then generate strings of just those levels. Just fun facts. All right, so that's a bit on factors. Next, dates. So dates are funky. But it's pretty useful to be able to calculate with dates because a lot of data has got dates attached to it. And so if you put this as date, you can put in, I picked a random day here of 2020 0101, and it will give you back 2020 0101, and it will tell you that type is double, but it's a class of date. So again, just like we think of factors like an integer with oops, we should change that. Open 021. Cool. Can I show all things? Cool. We're fixing this because I'm gonna forget. Okay. Cool. Oh. Cool. Okay. Yep, you get to watch me edit the slides. Cool. All right. There we go. Think of dates. There we go. Fixed. That's annoying. Okay. In theory, it should show me. Okay, panes. Zoom viewer. Control Shift 9. Oh, that would be you. Okay, we're back. Cool. Sorry. So dates. We can think of dates like an integer, the number of days since the origin, which in this case is January 1st, 1970, and another integer, just the general origin, smushed together. So we can kind of think, so if we print this out as integer of our date, we can see that there have been approximately 50 years since 1979, 70, or 18,000 days, which we can divide by 365 to get roughly 50 years. Okay, cool. That is annoying. Okay, panes, show all panes. I do not know why it is being weird. Oh, we're not here yet. Okay. Cool. So that's a bit on dates. Let's talk about data frames. Now, I already talked a little about these, but I want to emphasize that we can think of data frames like vectors of equal length glued together. I'm not going to change it because I would like to get these slides done. So anyway, so we can think about a data frame, just make one with x equals 1 to 2 and y equals 3 to 4, and that creates 2 vectors in theory. However, it actually makes a list. We'll talk about lists soon, but it gives us a class of data frame. Lists. So lists are a generic vector that can contain any kind of vector. It's like the container of containers. So you can, because with a data frame, in theory, they should be similar types. They all have to be the same length. But for a list, it doesn't matter any length. So we could have x 1 through 4, y with 3, hello, jello, yellow, or z, true, false, and they all are part of that list. But for a data frame, this would be no good, no bueno, because those are varying lengths of vectors. So a data frame is a special kind of list that contains vectors of equal length. Has to be equal length. It just is. So we can pull out any vector we want from a data frame using the pull function. So we could pull out the y vector from our data frame, and it would only pull out 3 to 4, 3 and 4. That's the y vector, the y column labeled y. So that's it here. I'll see y'all in a bit because I think I need a snack.